Hi-O-M, what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. To all of my sledgeheads across the pond in the UK who were either at or viewed this taping of Monday Night Raw from Manchester, England, I would like to issue a heartfelt apology that the WWE didn't feel the need to give you guys anything special, anything memorable, being that they only come around once a year. They didn't even think it was that important to bring the brand new Raw set so that you guys could at least feel like you're watching a new version of Raw, but instead they give you just the same old drivel, the same old bullshit, a lazily booked embarrassment of a television show that makes you want to stick your head in the sand as a wrestling fan, never to pluck it back up to be proud again if you want to talk about the WWE, because they give you segments like we got tonight with Lana. And they want to take liberties with a women's tag team championship matchup that make absolutely no sense. And there was a much clearer and easier way they could have went about that. And we are going to talk about all of this and so much more right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare, and you are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show's Monday Night Raw review. Let's do it.
Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. Before we take this hammer and obliterate this piece of shit show, I want to take a minute and ask you guys to do me a favor. This is a call to arms to all sledgeheads who either live in or are going to be in and around the New York City area this weekend. Many of you may have heard or may know firsthand of the knowledge of the passing of professional wrestler Matt Travis. He was a House of Glory original. He was one of my favorite guys on the roster. You may or may not know if this is your first time here. I am affiliated with House of Glory. I am currently training. I have been a follower of the brand forever, and Matt Travis has spent the last few years earning his spot, and he was about to blow through the roof, man. He was an unbelievable talent, and we lost him unexpectedly and tragically this past weekend. And we had a show coming up this Saturday, November the 16th, called No Limit, which is now going to be in the memory of Matt Travis. And while that absolutely sucks that this has to be the case, it is going to turn out to be a celebration of the life of a man that deserves this type of a celebration. He was unbelievable. He was set to blow the roof off of House of Glory, and this show is going to be stacked. Kurt Angle is going to be there. Mick Foley is going to be there. Even Enzo Amore is going to be there, and that might not be that attractive to you, but yours truly, your old buddy, the leader of the Sledgehead Army, Nick Nightmare, will be there as always, as will all of the talents from House of Glory, to put on one hell of a show in memory of Matt Travis. And we are now owned by the hip-hop and entertainment mogul Master P, and I can guarantee you we're gonna make them say this Saturday at the NYC Arena. And I hope to see any and all sledgeheads that have absolutely nothing to do this Saturday and are within the vicinity of the NYC Arena, or you can find it in your heart to make it down. We are going to have a hell of a show, and we are going to do him proud, and I would love nothing more than to have the Sledgehead Army by my side. You can come down, you could meet Kurt, you could meet Mick Foley, you can have a couple of drinks with me, you can come hunt me down. JD's going to be there. If you're a fan of him, you might be able to see JD. Listen, it's not about any of us. This show is about celebrating the memory of somebody who we lost way, way too soon. If you could make it to there, I would love to see you guys down at the show. HOGWrestling.net for more details on that. And now that that is concluded, let's talk about and get the venom out of my system, because this show was the biggest maybe the biggest embarrassment of the year based off of one segment and one segment alone. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I didn't enjoy seeing the Imperium on Raw. I didn't enjoy seeing them opposite Seth Blockins, but it is what it is. I'm not going to tell you that I didn't enjoy the possibilities of getting to see AJ Styles and Randy Orton tangle in the main event tonight, but being that they snuck it into another ridiculous six-man tag team matchup that makes no sense and shouldn't have been closing out this show no matter who was in it, shouldn't have even been booked to begin with, because I'm tired of seeing six-mans. If that's all you got for the OC, then please don't even bother, because I'm tired of seeing the three of them show up just to get their asses handed to them in one way, shape, or form. It's friggin' ridiculous. And I'm tired of it. I'm most especially tired, as I know most of you guys are as well, of this Bobby Lashley, Lana bullshit. And that's all it is. It's trash. We've been calling Bobby Lashley boring trashly since he showed his milk dud-headed ass back up on the roster. And he continues to make it worse. And I know it's not his fault. I know it's not his idea. But Vince McMahon's coming to him with sheets and sheets of garbage, and he's just saying, okay, boss, we're gonna do this. It's fucking garbage, but we're gonna do this. And then you have Lana go out there and give one of the longest, most ass-backwards, nonsensical promos where all she wanted to do was say the word sex. If you could say the word sex 150,000 times in 10 minutes, let's see if you could do it, Lana. Was that the challenge? Is that what Vince wanted her to do? Say the word sex just as many times as possible, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do. We'll send Rusev out there, and then we'll send the milk dud out, and then blah, 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 blah. Why are we watching this? Why is this fucking angle so important to the WWE? I don't understand it. I don't understand why this is taking so much time. You gave us an 8-man tag team featuring the WWE NXT UK Invasion, and you gave that 10 minutes on the show, and that's including how it first started out as the singles match between Walter and Seth Rollins. That was a total of 10 minutes, and you gave Lana and Lashley, it was like 20 minutes of TV time for the crowd to boo at Lana, for her to stumble all over her lines because she's a terrible actress, for her to want to claim that she's 9 months pregnant and she doesn't even look like she has an ounce of body fat on her. 9 weeks. Did I say 9 months? I don't know. It doesn't matter because it's not true anyway. She wants to tell us this bullshit story, then we have to see Rusev come out and believe that she's 9 months pregnant. She don't look pregnant. It's fucking ridiculous. Her whole entire story doesn't even make sense. I had beautiful sex with Bobby Lashley 7 weeks ago, and I'm 9 weeks pregnant, so blah, 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 blah. None of this matters. None of this matters because it was all a ploy to get Rusev out there. You couldn't have figured out a quicker and easier way to bait Rusev to come to the ring instead of letting this broad have 19 minutes of airtime just blabbering on about sex. I left my sex addict husband to have crazy sex all the time, beautiful sex all the time with Bobby Lashley. I'm not an idiot. I don't look like a fucking dummy. I don't look like a hoe bag. No, I don't look like any of those things. I'm going to be mad now that he put Machka Brats in me, and that's going to bring him out, and then Bobby Lashley could sneak attack him, and I'm going to jump him, and I'm going to... I've wasted all that breath explaining to you in a much more entertaining way than I had to sit and stomach through all of that shit. It is a waste of my time. It's life, minutes of life that we will never get back. And while it may make for entertaining content for you guys to sit here and laugh along with me about how fucking awesome this is, see how many F-bombs it's made me drop already? I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to get better every week. The WWE doesn't. They certainly don't care to even try. And this episode of Raw proved every single minute of it. It opened up with the women's tag team matchup. Becky Lynch comes out to the ring. Becky Lynch is going to be subbing in for Natalya. Natalya couldn't make the trip for personal family-related issues. So instead of doing the logical thing, and now here, you know what you've got, right? What we ended up getting was Charlotte being paired with Becky and challenging for the championships against the Kabuki Warriors. What we should have gotten was the WWE saying, or some fucking figurehead say, come out and say something. about Natalya not being able to be here tonight, so we changed this matchup. Don't worry about the fact that you advertised a World Tag Team Championship women's matchup. Card is subject to change. Wrestling fans know that. You can change anything else you want, but you don't do the logical thing and just say, so what we're going to do is we're going to have Charlotte Flair versus Asuka tonight, one-on-one. And that's it. And you have Kairi Sane on the outside, and you have her get involved and get over on Charlotte Flair, beat the hell out of her, leave her laying, and that's it. Knowing the WWE, they'd probably throw Becky Lynch out to make the save and then have the tag team match continue it on, but that should have been it. So now when we get to next Monday, what the hell's going to happen? Charlotte's going to be pissed. She's going to get natty now, and now we're going to have this tag team championship matchup, and it would all make sense, right? Natalya tapped out Asuka to earn the right to have this matchup, and then you had the match without her? Because she couldn't get there? Instead of trying to think of a creative storyline way that we can get around it so that we can have it make sense, we're just going to give it to you anyway. We're going to throw the champ in there because we got nothing going on for her anyway. We're just going to put her in a match she wasn't even supposed to be in, and we're going to all be threatened with having Becky 2 belts again. Who thought that was going to happen? Not one of you, because you're not stupid, just like I'm not stupid. One thing does make me stupid is that I actually sat through 3 hours of this garbage. I don't know how I did it, but I did it, and I did it for you guys, because I know you can't do it all the time. So you come back here so that I reaffirm what you already know, which is that Raw is absolute garbage, and they have no clue what they're doing. I just gave you the easy way out. But instead we get Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair being defeated by the tag team champions, which at least they got that right. At least they didn't change the friggin' titles and give it to these two, because knowing the hard-on they have for Charlotte and that Becky could do no wrong right now, I'm actually surprised they didn't just give them the championships. But I'm glad that they didn't. The match in and of itself was okay. Shayna Baszler appeared here and there. Nothing really all that important happened. There was a distraction towards the end. Bayley attacked Becky Lynch. This was a pretty decent outing for the women, but it just went on a little bit too long, and it shouldn't have been happening. Shouldn't have been happening. We had Drew McIntyre defeating Sin Cara. On this same night, we had Andrade Cien Almas defeating Cedric Alexander. And what I'm thinking is that somebody in the back for a second said, you know what? We can't have Raw really be that bad. Wink, wink. And you know what? We have to do something different, because what I'm feeling is they had Drew McIntyre versus Ricochet again, and they had Andrade versus Sin Cara again on the card. And then somebody at least was smart enough to say, well, we can't do those again. And then Vince was like, well, just swap them. Because these were such randomly put together matches. And it was very awkward for me to be watching a match with Drew McIntyre fighting Sin Cara, knowing that Sin Cara asked for his release today. And it was like the #1 trending story on Twitter for most of the day, at least in my feed. And now I'm watching him wrestle on Raw. Now I know it's taped, but it still makes it somewhat awkward, does it not? He chose Monday, the night he knows he's going to be on TV, to wait to break this news that he wants out of this ridiculous company. And when you watch what they did with him when they were in the UK, you can't imagine why. He got beaten 4 minutes by Drew McIntyre. And where was his little girlfriend? Whatever her name, the salad dressing broad. Carolina. She's gone already? I don't get it. We had a couple of weird backstage promo segments. Ricochet and Randy Orton were having an argument backstage. Why are they even talking to each other and not just punching each other in the face? This is wrestling. They're backstage. We should have just went to Randy Orton and Ricochet are beating the hell out of each other in the back. Let's find the camera and go to the back. But instead we had to make this into a way to get to the stupid 6-man tag we didn't need. The OC showed up, started making fun of Ricochet and Humberto Carrillo, who was also there for some reason. Randy Orton decides he's going to be the partner of Carrillo and Ricochet for tonight in this six-man tag. And there's all kinds of red flags going up when I'm watching this thing, because first of all, why would Randy Orton be doing this? Obviously, he's still going to be going after Ricochet. He's got a thing for Ricochet right now, I guess. And so that would make him the evil bastard and the viper that he would always be. So why would anybody trust him? But anyway, he's going to do whatever Randy wants to do. He does what he does when he wants to do it, like he said. But none of this stuff even makes sense. Why he would step in there as their partner just to try to get at Ricochet and have to end up fighting the OC and AJ Styles doesn't really make sense, right? And at no point did any of us think that at some point he was going to, Randy Orton was going to attack Ricochet. We all believed this was going to happen. But none of this really makes sense. But this was going to be the main event of the evening. Great. Who gives a shit? There was another weird segment where we had this close-up, wide-angled, like that door view when you look through the door hole. Like it has that magnified, stretched face look. I don't know how better to describe that. I'm sorry. But I got Eric Rowan's giant mug in my TV, and he's looking inside a fence. So now I'm supposed to believe that whatever weird fucking creature, animal thing is in Eric Rowan's little pen is me. So now I'm in a cage, which is how I feel when I'm watching Raw as it is, but now you literally put me in a cage. And you got Eric Rowan, I can't even say it, I'm so mad. You got Eric Rowan's giant face with his huge nose and his disgusting beard this close to me in HD, 60-inch television, this big in my face, and he's calling me little boo-boo baby names, and he's saying, Daddy's gonna make it proud, and I'm having flashbacks of being a kid, and I don't want these flashbacks, you giant red-bearded idiot. And what is this? What are we watching? What are we watching? Eric Rowan was all over this show tonight. I don't understand the reason behind that. This is not going to be the last time we talk about Eric Rowan and his giant face. Eric Rowan has a pet. All I can hope is that they're not trying to make him a new Jake the Snake. Please don't have a snake in that box, Vince McMahon. Give him a mongoose. Give him a fucking possum, a turtle. I don't care. I don't care. It could have been the bodies of the little, Jinder Mahal's little buddies, whatever their names were. The Sing Midgets, whatever I used to call them, the Singlets. Should have been them in the box. Or at least, like, their body parts. Maybe he murdered them in the back room when R-Truth turned the lights out. I don't know. We didn't get there yet. This show makes me crazy. So let's talk about that. The 24/7, hey, look at me, I'm a clown. I don't give a shit about this title anymore. Avocado gold-plated championship belt was being defended in a 2-on-1 match. The Sing Midgets versus R-Truth. None of this was serious. It ended up leaving the ring. They ended up going to the back. They were in the women's locker room. They're hiding from R-Truth. R-Truth didn't want to go into the women's locker room. He's like, I can't go in there. So definitely this is not talking about being anything like the Attitude Era, because they would have went right into the women's locker room. We would have seen bras and boobs and butts, and it would have been much better to see all of those things, but I still would have hated it because it was part of the 24/7, hey, look at me, I'm a clown, avocado toast gold-plated championship segment, so I wouldn't have given a shit about it. I really wouldn't have. Anyway, they found another room to hide in, the Sing Midgets. They're still trying to hide from R-Truth. And then Eric Rowan happens to be in this room, and they get absolutely obliterated by Eric Rowan. He's throwing him into the walls. He's throwing him through benches and into lockers. And it's awful. And it's just a complete evisceration of the Singh brothers. And then R-Truth walks in. He sees what happens. He sees the guys on the floor. He sees Eric Rowan staring at him. And now maybe he was as scared as Eric Rowan's big giant face as I was. I don't know, maybe he was seeing it through a cage, just like me. But R-Truth says, I'm going to give you guys some privacy. And he turns out the lights and walks out. So what is the implication? Are you implying to me that Eric Rowan now fully penetrated the Singh brothers? Had his way with the Singh brothers? Did he murder them? Did he tie them up in a locker? Are they ever going to be seen again? Where is the 24/7 title belt? What has happened to them? Is this WWE Deliverance in the dark for nobody to see? Thank goodness. What did R-Truth think was going down? Why didn't he at least drop down and pin one of the midgets to get the title? Why do I even care that much about this to be making better versions of it? What is happening? Can anybody explain it to me? Because I'm having a hard time figuring it out. You see it's malfunctioning my brain? I'm trying to make sense of the 24/7 title. What's happening to me? This is what happens after 3 hours of trash being dumped into your head. The whole thing was really dumb. Really, really dumb. Seth Rollins came out for his promo, which was heavily edited by the audio. It was hysterical to me. I'm laughing because it was so clear. So clear that it was so fake. The fake cheers, the canned cheers in there. The boos were quickly reduced in volume. It was laughable. Do they think we're deaf? Do they think the WWE Universe are deaf? Or just really dumb? Because we're neither of those things, and we're going to notice that. We're not stupid. We know you're not live. You can't put it past us. Anyway, this whole Rollins promo, I tuned out because I don't give a shit what the guy has to say. If he don't want me to see what he has to say on Twitter and he wants to block my ass, I'm certainly not going to pay attention to him in real life, so I kind of tune him out because he's boring as shit, and I really don't care about what they're doing with him. They want to bring out the NXT UK. Seth Rollins throws out an open challenge, and Walter comes out with the Imperium. You want to book Walter versus Seth Rollins. Fine. But do you play us for idiots? Did any one of you think this match was going to end in any other way than it did? I couldn't have called the 8-man tag, but I definitely knew there was going to be no decision. The Imperium was going to be the deciding factor and protect their champion, and we were not going to see Walter take a loss or a pin, so to speak. But they turned this matchup. But see, here's the thing. Walter didn't lose, but in the record books now, it says Seth Rollins wins via disqualification. So Seth Rollins now has a win over Walter, and you're going to tell me I'm not allowed to be mad at that, and I absolutely am allowed to be mad at that, because that's a sin. That's one of the very big things wrong with the show. You can't do something like that. So yeah, they protected Walter in the main event, in the main portion of this matchup, the 8-man portion of this matchup, but at the end of the day, he still lost to Seth Rollins in one way or another. The 8-man tag was a little bit more fun. Kevin Owens came out to a tremendous ovation. Now, I don't know if this was touched by the audio team or if there was just no way they could deny the sound that UK made for KO. And if you were one of the sledgeheads that happened to be in attendance, if any of you guys over there were at the show, at the taping, let me know if any of those reactions that we've seen were true. Let me know if the Kevin Owens pop was as big as it was. Let me know if the Lana boos were worse than what we got to hear. It would be very interesting for me to know. And then you could explain to me why you didn't get a Sledgehammer TV sign on TV if you went to sit through these shows. But props to you for sitting through this 3-hour piece of trash if you went there. God bless you, my sons. So anyway, this match was okay. We had the Street Profits come out to complete the foursome for Seth Rollins going up against the Imperium. They defeated the Imperium. I'm not too angry about it. I just wish Seth Rollins wasn't the one to get the pin. This was a prime opportunity to give a big moment to a returning Kevin Owens, who was the biggest star in the bunch, if you ask me, or the new and emerging Street Profits, who could have got a nice pinfall and be put in the limelight and be made to look more important and better. And Montez Ford freaked out like the Ultimate Warrior on the top rope after the matchup, and it has now been made into the GIF of the night. If you go on Twitter right now, you could follow me when you get there, and then you could look and you will see Montez Ford just in one of the craziest GIFs ever. He also delivered one of the highlights of the night. He did a tope con hilo that was breathtaking. Now, you know, if you watched my AEW review, that I was getting all over the topes, because when you do too many topes in one show, that diminishes the specialness from each one that you see every time you see one. But there is no doubt the elevation and the launch and the speed and the height that Montez Ford got on his tope con hilo over the top rope, so far to the point where he actually hit the announce table. He bounced off of not Eric Rowan, I'm sorry. He bounced off of one of the guys in the Imperium and fell right into the announce table. It was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable spot. Props to Montez really putting his all out there for this matchup. It was a fun 8-man, I guess, but considering, like I said, Seth Rollins getting the pin and all that shit, at the end of the day, it was typical Raw dribble. Just a multi-man match. The best part of the matchup was getting to see the Street Profits perform. The Imperium are great, and Kevin Owens coming back and killing it in this segment. So I'm alright with it. I mean, but it wasn't great, but it was alright. We talked about Andrade versus Cedric Alexander. Andrade defeated Cedric Alexander in 3 minutes. Shows you how Cedric Alexander continues to be one of the most underappreciated talents on Raw. They gave, like I said once again, they gave all this time to Lana, but you could have gave these two guys another 5 minutes at least. Give them an 8-minute matchup. Let the guys do something. Give the fans in the UK something to truly enjoy, other than these really quick, fast matchups. The 8-man tag team match was only like 8 minutes long. Not even. It was so quick. Like I said, it was between the first and second parts of that matchup, it was 10 minutes combined. That match easily should have had more time. Andrade and Cedric easily should have had more time. But Andrade's on a hot streak right now, and Cedric continues to be put on his back. And I don't understand that. Another Aleister Black in the dark talking to nobody segment. And I still can care less. There was a video for Veterans Day. And I want to take this moment, like they did, to wish any of our Sledgehead veterans out there a happy Veterans Day, even if you're not a Sledgehead. I appreciate everything you guys do. My grandfather was in the Navy. My dad was in the Navy. And you guys put your life on the line every single day, and you protect this country, and you fight for the rights that we all have, and you allow a guy like me to sit here at my desk in front of a microphone and talk shit about a wrestling program on American television and across the world. So, of course, we salute you, as always, this Veterans Day. We thank you all for your service. And they thanked you even more so after this segment by rewarding you for everything you do by giving you Lana and Bobby Lashley. Thanks, veterans. Thank you. Here you go. Enjoy this shit. Here's your daily dose of milk dud nonsense. Lashley and Lana are feigning an argument backstage. They come back from commercial. Lana's in the ring. She is totally booed throughout this entire thing. She stumbled and bumbled all across this whole entire promo. She's saying everybody's mad at her, but Rusev's the one that cheated first. She had sex with Bobby Lashley 7 weeks ago, and now she's 9 weeks pregnant. We don't care. Rusev comes out wearing some fancy suit. The crowd starts chanting Daddy's Home. And the first thing that I'm thinking in my head is, do not sully the phrase that has been made popular by Tommaso Ciampa in NXT by attributing it to this complete trash. No, I didn't take kindly to that chant. Was it amusing? Not to me. Maybe you guys giggled, oh, because Rusev's gonna be a daddy. No, man, don't do that. Daddy's Home is for Goldie. Gosh darn it. See, I'm trying to be good. I'm sorry for all the F-bombs tonight, but tonight's Raw was just bleh. Blah. There was so much wrong with this segment, and it's not even worth going over. You know, Rusev ends up getting his ass beat up again. Lana was lying to him the whole time. This whole thing was given way too much time. She was talking so fast, man. She was just so awful. And I feel like at one point she even switched into Russian. And I was just like, whoa. Get her out of here. By the time we get to next Monday. See, now here you guys pretty much had a week off. Because you just did your show a couple of days ago. Now, Monday, you had nothing to do. You have to get to next Monday from now. Get away from this. Write yourselves out of this. You can just drop it. Just drop it completely. Nobody's going to wonder, oh, what happened? We're going to know what happened. You want to know why the third hour is going to tank in the ratings when they come in tomorrow? You could blame one segment and one segment alone. And it was this piece of trash. They followed this up with Eric Rowan and his giant face again, only this time he's coming out to the ring with a box. He's got a box with a handle on it. It's covered with some sort of a burlap sack. And all I'm thinking is they are going to turn him into Jake the Snake. He's got a snake in there. He's got a jobber in the ring. And he's going to beat this jobber and he's going to put whatever's in that box on this jobber. And we're going to go down some new really weird road with Rowan, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be on board with the snake thing, because to me there's only one snake and you can't give Jake the Snake's gimmick to somebody else. You just can't. But we'll never know, will we? Because Eric Rowan beats up this jobber guy. He starts to ask him, what's wrong with you? Do you know who I am? And I'm like, do you know that that's Bully Ray's? Not Billy Ray. Billy Ray Cyrus is not who I meant to say. That's Bully Ray's catchphrase from his days in TNA. Do you know who I am? You don't infringe the gimmicks, man. He beats this guy to smithereens. And then he goes and gets his box and leaves. So now you're going to leave us waiting. And you know what that tells me? That tells me that there's nothing in the box. There's nothing in the box tonight. They got nothing for it. They said, oh, we're going to give you something. You take out this cool box. We'll figure out what we put in the box. We're going to cover it so nobody knows what's in it. But we're not going to put anything in it because we're not smart enough to come up with anything yet. We'll figure it out. And we'll get back to it when we get to the States. Or maybe that's it. Maybe they did get him a mongoose, but that didn't get through customs with the stage and the set for Monday Night Raw and everything. So they had to leave him with an empty box. Get the fuck out of here. They aired a video package for Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews, the former NXT UK Tag Team Champions, who are going to face the Viking Raider Warrior Raiders next. And I can't believe how quick this match was. Here you have an opportunity to showcase the Viking Raiders as something more than a, 3-minute squash match type of powerhouse team. The matches they used to put on in NXT, no matter who they were in the ring against, used to be fantastic. Their wars with the Undisputed, the War Games that they were in. 40-minute matchups where these guys did some amazing things. And here you have them in the ring with Mandrews and Morgan Webster, who can do some amazing things. Are the complete opposite. And styles make matches. You got the smaller, faster, more agile UK former tag team champions and the current big, dominant, badass Raw tag team champions. And you give them 3 minutes? You give them 3 minutes so that I can hear about Lana and Bobby Lashley. That's good TV. I'm sure Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews are happy to be on Monday Night Raw tonight. And I'm sure when they wake up a few years from now, they're going to go, man, remember when we were on Raw and they completely freaking wasted us because they didn't give us any time to really do anything? And you're going to see people on social media saying, oh, well, I really enjoyed that match. Oh, and I think what they did there was great. And I'm saying, hell no, they didn't. That was a lazy booking that was not giving nearly enough time to give respect to any of the 4 men involved. You would have been better off putting them against 2 friggin' guys drinking tea. Why not? You've been giving them polo plays. You've been giving them Chicago Cubs. Why not give them a couple of rugby guys? Some soccer players. A couple of hooligans drinking beer from the local tavern. Instead, you're going to offer up Mandrews and Flash. I don't care. I don't get it. There was no reason for this. And then we had the six-man main event. Randy Orton, Ricochet, and Humberto Carrillo defeated AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson. A makeshift three-man team put together for no reason, put together with two men who seemingly are at odds with one another, and they still get to beat the OC, the former Bullet Club. Three guys that have been together for maybe a decade now. That makes sense, right? And let me just say this about that. When you look at these six guys in the ring, and I don't mean any disrespect to any of them, but when you look at any of them compared to Randy Orton, do any of them look like stars? Maybe AJ. Maybe I will give AJ. But just in physical presence, when you put these six guys up against each other, if you're going to pick one guy to be your company guy, which guy are you going to pick? You going to pick Luke Gallows? That's why I say maybe you'll look at AJ and you'll go, well, he's a little younger, he's a little more agile, he's a little more flashy, and maybe I'm going to take AJ Styles. He's phenomenal. But more often than not, you are going to take the over 6 foot tall, genetically superior, athletic freak that is the Viper Randy Orton. And when he stands next to these guys, even Carl Anderson included, it's like he's from a different planet, man. And what happened? What happened? Randy Orton, to me, was never a big guy. Like, when I looked at him in the ring, he never came across as a big guy. You always had guys like The Big Show dwarfing him. He seemed to be smaller than Triple H at times. And now he's like the biggest guy on the roster. He looked like Sid Vicious out there with these guys. Easily the biggest star of the bunch. Why wrestlers don't look like that anymore. And I don't mean just in their physicality and muscles or whatever. They just don't have that star. Like, you look at them and you just say star. That guy's a freaking star, man. And it makes the rest of the guys look like nothing. What did Humberto Carrillo look like standing next to Randy Orton? He looked like a little kid. You're going to be intimidated by that? Randy Orton and Ricochet side by side. Father and son. You adopted this guy. Yeah, you're mine now. It's a little off topic. It's just something I noticed. I'm watching this match and I'm just like, man, Randy Orton sticks out like a fucking sore thumb, man. And they just don't make him like that anymore. The last of a dying breed. And while I would, like I said, pick AJ Styles, possibly any of the other guys, you could easily, even Ricochet, there's no comparison. If you're going to pick a guy to go with, you're probably going to pick Randy Orton. This was ridiculous. After the match was over and they beat the OC, Randy Orton teased that he was going to hit the RKO on Ricochet. Orton gets in his face and says he does what he wants, when he wants, whenever he wants, and that is the end of Monday Night Raw. What does any of it mean? Oh, God help you. If you figure it out, you please come and explain it to me, because I have no idea what the hell they're thinking. With the exception of seeing Walter on Monday Night Raw, this was a completely lifeless effort. It was absolutely missable. You didn't miss nothing. And it was a disservice to all of my friends in the UK. I feel bad for you guys, man. You only get to see this once a year. And then they come around and they shit all over you guys. And bless your hearts for trying. You know, at least you went to the show. But I'm not an idiot. I know what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing people in the crowd sitting on their hands. And I'm seeing people in the crowd not reacting. But the audio wants me to believe that there is a cheer going on of some sort. And then Andrade wins versus Cedric Alexander. And you could see pretty much like the first 8 rows getting up and cheering. Andrade seemed to be pretty over there. But then there's just this very clear boo. And I'm looking around like, nobody's booing. From what I could see, I see no one booing. I see a whole crowd of people being pretty ecstatic, either that Andrade won the match or that the friggin' match was over. One way or another, people were applauding, which was the complete opposite of what the audio team wanted you to believe what was going on. There was all kinds of bullshit like that happening throughout this entire show, and it just makes it even less compelling and even more missable. Absolutely ridiculous. I hate this show, man. I hate this show so much. Well, why do you still watch it then? Well, because I'm a wrestling fan, that's why. And I'm going to watch it next week too. And you know what? I'm going to wait each and every time and hope that I'm finally going to tune in and go, wow, that was a great Raw. What the hell happened? And I will be the first one to come sit here and tell you that. But until then, our job is to tell you guys everything wrong with this show. And that is exactly what we have done. There is no saving grace for this show. Even Walter. Walter was on Raw. Great. But he lost to Seth Rollins. And then he and his team lost to Seth Rollins and his team. And now there's all these multi-man team-up matches because we got to lead up to Survivor Series. So instead of leaving Survivor Series to be special and having a few 4-man or 5-on-5-on-5s or whatever it is they're going to do, they're going to just keep jamming us down our throats with all these matchups. So by the time we get to the actual Survivor Series, we're not going to give a shit about any of it because we've seen every 8-way, every which way we could do. Watch us get mixed tag team matchups next, and we're going to see all kinds of stupid shit leading up into what is actually turning out to be a rather interesting Survivor Series. I mean, you can't get an announcement of having the AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Roderick Strong match at Survivor Series and not be excited about that match. You'd have to be a dead person that knows nothing about wrestling to not be excited about the prospect of that matchup. There's still way too much time to go before then, and I'm afraid they're going to change it somehow, just like they did with the tag team championships. We were on the cusp of getting a great matchup there too. We were going to have the Viking Raiders versus the Revival, but they changed the Revival to the New Day. And now we're going to get to see the Undisputed in the New Day and the Viking Raiders. I got it out that time. It's my own shtick, my own bit, and I can't do it. I'm tired from this ridiculous Monday that seemingly had no end. I am exhausted and embarrassed and mad about a Monday Night Raw that seemingly had no end, but it thankfully did. And unfortunately now, we're coming to the end for our time here tonight. Thank you guys for joining me once again for this Monday Night Raw review. It was not a laugh riot. It was ridiculous, but in all the wrong ways. And if they don't can this Lashley Lana shit soon, I don't know how much more I can take. I don't know what they think we want to see. If they think that we think this is entertaining, then they are more wrong than they've ever been in their whole entire life. And that's pretty damn wrong. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team, Thor the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world, Mr. Blue, the Snowball. The most important member of the team, as always, is each and every one of you. And you could join the team right now if this is your first time and you're new here and you enjoyed today's show and I made you laugh or I made you understand something or you just had a good time in some way, shape, or form during this broadcast. You can smash that like button for me right now and then share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world, especially if they were as disappointed with Monday Night Raw as the rest of us were, and then you could encourage them to do what you're going to do right now, and that's smash that subscribe button and become one of the over 2,000 strong that are taking over YouTube one day at a time as the Sledgehead Army continues to take over and become the newest, fastest rising faction in the entire YouTube wrestling community. And all I need is awesome wrestling fans like you who are not stupid, who do not like to be yelled at, who do not like to be talked down to, who do not like to be insulted by the professional wrestling organizations that they sit down and watch. This is your new official home for all things WWE, AEW, even if you're a little butt pussy AEW fanboy who can't take a little bit of truth in the criticisms that I drop on you, and because I don't like a match you want to tell me to drop dead, go fuck yourself. I even love each and every one of you guys too, because every great man needs a bunch of haters to hate him, so bring it on, because we ain't going nowhere. We are the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, and we are the Sledgehead Army, and we are proud, and we stand true in our convictions, and I feel how I feel, and you feel how you feel, and we can all feel those things and still be friends together like we try to do. Don't forget to hit up that comment section down below. Drop your hammers! And we didn't deliver a poop hammer because this whole show is nothing more than a poop hammer. As always, Monday Night Raw, one giant, big old, red poop hammer. Don't forget to check out everything else we have on the channel, including that very divisive AEW Full Gear review that I just made mention of. Everything wrong with SmackDown Live, everything wrong with AEW, and everything else that happened last week, from Hell in a Cell and Crown Jewel and anything more that you can get your hands on. We have it all there. We also got the Sledgehammer series running strong. We are drawing The Fiend Bray Wyatt. We have drawn Sasha Banks and many, many more. You can check out that playlist as well. And don't forget to like and share everything else you guys watch. It'll really help support the channel. And if you can get down to the NYC Arena this Saturday, I would love to see each and every one of you guys there. I accept Budweiser's. I'm not picky with my beer. I don't care. Feel free to buy me a drink. We could take some pictures. We could have a good time and celebrate the life of my good friend, Matt Travis. That, my friends, is going to do it, and we are out of here, and we will see you next time right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com.